podcast. You told me I could start whenever I wanted.
Was that Alex or the Dream? I couldn't tell.
Oh, that was me.
Oh.
Dusty's not here yet. But if I was here, maybe I'd sing a little something like this. Are you ready for a podcast?
So you are here, Dusty.
I'm here.
You're early.
A little early.
Are you?
You want me to do the plugs?
No. We're just getting started.
But I figure there's probably a lot of people that don't listen to the whole episode, Regal.
But we always do the plugs at the end.
We can do them at the beginning.
But then people will stop
Something
listening.
different. They do what?
People will stop listening because they'll think it's the end.
But people normally stop listening in about 5 minutes in, so if I do the plugs now, then they'll know what your social media is.
Wow. Dusty, that's mean.
I know.
Hey, I know why you're here early, Dust.
Because Seth Rollins was at SCW Pro last night.
I heard you were really excited.
You remember his first night when he won the NXT title? You remember who hated it to him?
You.
I did.
You and Paul.
Paul Burchill?
No. Paul Levesque?
Paul Roma?
No, Paul Levesque.
Do you know who my favorite Paul is?
I don't know, Dusty.
I don't know. That's why I asked you.
I'm really going to fall for it this time, Dusty. Hey, Dust.
What's going on, baby?
Why don't you go to the fridge, grab a Mellow Yellow. We'll call you when it's time to do the plugs.
Go ahead and follow me on Twitter at... Wait, I don't have a Twitter anymore. Go ahead and follow Alex at SCW Regal 444. Follow Regal at OneRealSmartAlex. Was Margaret on the episode yet?
No, we literally been going for 10 seconds when you got here.
Follow Margaret at Bales in a Sale, at Margaret and Dale. Go ahead and follow the podcast at Off the Chest TR. Sign up for Twitter, Matt Ritter. Go ahead and follow Slam Fam Wrestling Network at Slam Fam WREST. You know who the EST of NXT is?
Bianca Belair?
I guess.
Yeah, she wasn't there Friday night.
That's disappointing, baby. I like her.
All right.
She has a hair whip.
All right, Dust. Well, you did the plugs, but if you want to, there's some Mellow Yellow in the fridge. You can grab one on the way out.
I'll kill you if there isn't.
All right. Alex,
The show's over, huh?
No. The show just
Best episode of the year.
Dusty,
without a doubt.
Dusty was so excited that Seth Rollins showed up at NXT and SCW Pro this weekend.
Do not adjust your podcast. If it says there's more than 3 minutes, it's going to be an hour and 41 minutes of dead air. The podcast is only 3 minutes long this week. This is the end.
You're terrible.
Dusty started it. I'm just tagging along with the dream.
We don't have to end the podcast just because Dusty did the plugs.
You're gonna argue with the dream?
No, but we got a lot to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about.
We got to talk about
May 4th, Hawkamania 10. May the 4th be with you.
We got to talk about that.
May 10th at the Beer Stube. SCW Pro returns to the Beer Stube for Never Afraid.
It's Never Scared.
Never Scared. May 25th, Walcott Coliseum. SCW Pro presents Revival. May 31st.
There's fighter jets in the flyer for that.
At the Rust Belt in East Moline. SCW Pro and Molar Knights present To Be the Man. Get your VIP reserve tickets now at MolarKnights.com. And who's going to be there, Regal?
The 6th.
Woo! When you're living, Regal. How the hell are ya?
I'm doing great, Rick. It's been a great weekend.
It's a great weekend. Almost as good as the last weekend of May and or first weekend of June is going to be.
Rick, I got a big question for you.
What's that?
Have you seen Endgame yet?
Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was terrible. I was waiting. I thought that what really should have happened is that Thanos should have got put in the figure 8 by Ashley, and he should have tapped out until that little Infinity Gauntlet fell off.
That would have been one way to end the movie.
The only way. Woo! Do you know which Infinity Stone I have?
Dare I ask, Rick?
The Up All Night Limousine Riding, Learjet Flying, Kiss Stealing, Wheelin' Dealing. Woo! That's the Infinity Stone I have. Thanos never got that one. Because he's not. Woo! The Nature Boy. Did you see the movie?
I've seen it twice.
Yeah, we gotta put some spoilers on here.
Nah, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Some people may not have seen it by Tuesday, so I'm not gonna throw that out there.
You don't want to tell them that Buzz Lightyear dies?
No, or that the Millennium Falcon shows up and Mickey Mouse comes out of the Falcon. And
You know they put Mickey Mouse in there, Buzz Lightyear, Mr. Clean, Tamagotchis,
Tom McGee.
Tom McGee was in that. I saw him in a crowd scene. Yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't recognize him almost. You gonna come see him at StarCast on May 25th?
No, I'm not gonna be there. I'll be watching on TV though.
No, you'll be at SCW Pro on May 25th.
Oh yeah, but I'll watch the roast of you on VOD, Rick.
They're gonna roast me?
Yeah, they're gonna roast you.
Roasty toasty?
Not like actually. We're not like on a fire. But,
Oh, what kind of savages are these people?
you know, where they sit you in the chair on the stage, they make fun of you.
They're gonna turn up the heat?
Yeah.
They don't think I can take the heat? I'll kill them. Woo! They'll learn who the Nature Boy really is. You know, sometimes I hang out at Pints. Good friends of Jay Foster.
I heard that.
Sometimes I hang out at Pints and I sit there kind of like this masked guy is sitting next to me here right now. And I sit there and, Merrick Brave, my good friend, Merrick Brave, I've got his phone number. He gets very concerned when we're at Pints recording Booze, Brawls, and Braves, another shitty wrestling podcast, only on the QC Hassle podcast stream. He gets very concerned when it goes in the red. But you know what the difference between me and Merrick Brave is?
What's that?
Woo! I don't care if it's red all night. Sorry, headphone users. Quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Hey, Rick.
What?
If it's red all night, they got some cream to clear that up.
Son of a bitch.
Stop! Damn it! Stop! God! Stop! Stop it! Hey, Rick! God!
You know what Rick says? Stop, chop, chop, and roll. He stops, he chops, and then he rolls on out of here because he's the 16 time.
Just bails out of here.
Oh, it's just like commentary last night. Every time I talk, you talk over me. If I need to take a breath, you don't say anything. But as soon as I go to talk, you start talking over me.
You get so mad when I accidentally, maybe once or twice, talk over you during a show.
But then when I'm like trying to take a drink of water or talk to Sean or Merrick or do something else on the show, you won't talk. You're just dead. It's like you go mute anytime I need you to talk. And then when I start talking again, you talk over me.
And you get mad when I leave dead air. You're always mad at me about something.
Oh.
Can we actually... Okay, Dusty showed up at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
Rick showed up.
Yes.
We haven't even talked about anything yet. And we're like 15 minutes into the show.
No, we're not. We're 8 minutes.
We're 8 minutes into the show. Okay, so we're only 8 minutes in. But we haven't talked about anything yet.
I'm trying to keep the guests in. I don't like dead air.
I don't like dead air either.
That's why we're trying to talk. Keep the podcast interesting.
Why don't we talk?
I don't like dead air. I don't like dead things. And speaking of dead things, I will be right back. Oh, yes. You know who does like dead air? My Undertaker. Which is why the rumors of him doing a podcast with Conrad Thompson are totally false. Oh, yes. No dead air there. You better not be texting Margaret, you son of a bitch. Bye, Paul. Were you texting Margaret?
Yes.
Why? Because I brought in some guests?
Because I was going to have her come slap Paul Bearer right out of here like she did last time.
You're a terrible person. Paul Bearer is a future Hall of Famer. He's already in the Hall of Fame, isn't he?
He is in the Hall of Fame. Remember
Are you in the Hall of Fame for managing?
No, I should be.
Why?
Because I was awesome.
Oh, God. Anyways.
So can we talk about last night?
Why do you do this? You always do this.
What?
Our show is a weekly show.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about, usually record on Sundays.
Yeah.
And you always want to start with Saturday and go backwards.
Well, I want to...
Fucking drives me bonkers.
I want to start positively. I want to start completely
Why can't we talk about shit in the order that it happened?
Okay, so you want to start with last Sunday?
Sure.
Because we didn't record last Sunday because it was Easter.
Yes.
We recorded early.
Very early.
We recorded very early. And then without you, because you were traveling for family stuff.
Yes.
I did go and was live in attendance for the Shield's Last Stand show at the
Tax Slayer Center.
Tax Slayer Center.
Kind of like the Beast Slayer.
God, I hate that name so much.
But it's in honor of the Beast Slayer, Seth freaking Rollins.
Not Beast Slayer. I hate the name Tax Slayer.
Let's call it the Beast. Let's just me and you will call it the Beast Slayer Center.
Call it the Beast Slayer Center. I would be totally okay with that.
Yeah, I knew you would.
But no. So I did go to the show. And here's the thing. Obviously, I get hot and cold on WWE some days, depending on my mood.
Very moody.
I was texting you. The problem with WWE shows, and I'm gonna get the negative out of the way, is there is that bubble of fans that only watches WWE.
Yeah.
That occasionally for me can be very irritating. Also, I've been very vocal on this show. I am not a fan of the fake belt wearing.
Regal hates wrestling fans.
I don't want to say that,
but it's true.
I don't want to use the M word. I don't.
Mizanin?
No, Mizarka.
Yeah, you don't want to call him Mark because you're a Mark. You don't want Margaret to come in and hear you talking bad about the fans.
Yes.
Using the Mark word.
But, so, there's a certain fan base that attends those shows that I prefer not to be around. And, let's be honest, you go to a live WWE show, especially a live WWE show, I swear to God, I looked at one dude and I told my buddy Garrett, who, was that your first time meeting Garrett Saturday night? Or Friday night? Or had you met Garrett before?
Was that the person that you were talking to?
The redheaded kid?
You never introduced me. I didn't know either of those dudes' names.
Oh, I thought you knew.
I did not know either of them.
I thought you
I'd never met either of them before in my life.
Yeah, that was Garrett and Kyle.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for introducing me to them.
I thought you already...
Garrett and Kyle, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm sorry that I didn't call you by name. Regal's never introduced us.
I swear to God, you had already met him.
Well, I hadn't.
Okay.
I thought about introducing myself, but they acted like they knew me, so I thought it'd be awkward.
So Garrett, I ran into Garrett and Kyle at the Tax Slayer Center, the Beast Slayer. God damn it! At the Mark. God damn it! It's the fucking Mark.
I thought you said you weren't going to use the Mark word.
The Mark of the Quad Cities, what the arena was originally called, and what it's always should be called if you lived in the Quad Cities your whole life.
You know why it's not called the Mark of the Quad Cities anymore? Because the fucking Tax Slayer app paid a lot of fucking money for their name to be on there.
But if you lived in the Quad Cities, it's always going to be the Mark of the Quad. It's always going to be the Mark. So the show at the Mark.
I see now. I thought you'd be happy with the name change. Because now you can claim the title of the Mark of the Quad Cities.
Fuck you! God damn you! I walked right into that fucking joke. I didn't even see it coming. Walked right into it. God damn it! Why did I leave myself wide open for that one?
I really popped myself that time.
I hate you so
I really popped
much
myself
right now.
That might be my best line in the history of the podcast.
God damn it! That one was funny. Even I'm laughing. Even though. Eat shit.
Wow, what's wrong with being a wrestling fan, Regal?
Nothing. So, we're at this show, and I say to Garrett, I literally say, yeah, I was walking by, and I swear to God, I saw a dude that was probably his own dad.
You're so mean.
That's how I describe certain people in the audience. But no, I ran into a lot of, obviously, the good thing, and I mean, we had it at NXT, which we'll get into. The good thing about any local wrestling show that we go to is I get to see a lot of people who I have met and conversated with over the years.
Conversed.
Through wrestling. Conversed. I like to say conversated.
I will kill you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Teacher.
Conversated.
But a lot of people that I've met...
You know, you're talking shit about people and you're using words out here like conversated. Get off your high horse, Regal. You're no smarter than or better than anybody else.
So, okay. So, I was...
The real mark of the Quad Cities, Timothy Regal.
And any of these shows I go to, I do like to people watch, obviously.
I remember you said that to me the first time I ever saw you at a show.
Yeah. So... You
were standing there in your New Day shirt after you'd spent the whole day at the airport.
Oh, yeah. That was right after me and you first met. No, I like to sit there and watch the people as they come in. Then that goes back to when me and Douglas used to always go to shows together. We'd do the same thing.
As a promoter, it's kind of a smart thing because you got to figure out what are the type of people that are coming to wrestling.
Yeah, and then that's also where you can shake hands and kiss babies and all that other good stuff. Regal
for president, 2020. He's running as a libertarian.
So I'm walking around, just kind of talking to people, and a great SCW Pro fan. God, and I feel so terrible. I can't remember his name. He comes up to me and tells me
Mark, isn't it?
Huh?
Mark?
I don't think it's Mark. But he comes up to me and tells me his girlfriend had won that day of the show floor tickets in like the second row. And he had seats, because I had a seat in 111, which was over in the bowl, in the cheaper seats.
You're right.
He had seats on the aisle in section 114, which is right directly, essentially, if you watch it on the WWE Network, I'm a couple rows up out of the frame that you would see on TV. I'm directly across from the hard cam. So obviously a better seat. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take one. Take a seat over there. So I got a seat upgrade from a fan, which, again, thank you.
Whoever you are.
Yeah. God, I wish I could remember his name. I feel terrible, but I can't. I really do. Because I'm terrible. And you know this. Anybody that knows me knows I'm terrible with names. So, what's your name again, sir?
Mark.
You're not Mark Storm. So I go over. I get these seats, and the other thing is, I always worry at these shows who's going to be sitting around me, and I went by myself again, which that's another thing I don't like to do, because you were traveling. I tried to get a couple other people to go. They just didn't want to go. People already had tickets because I originally wasn't going to go and then decided I wanted to go. Thankfully, the people around me were cool. They had a base of knowledge of wrestling that at least made them tolerable. A couple SCW fans were sitting a couple rows behind me, so the crowd around me was actually really cool. I didn't have the "it's still real to me, damn it, guys," which one of the reasons I hadn't gone to a WWE house show in 4 years was because the last time I went, that's who I got stuck sitting next to. And
it's still real for me, damn it, guy.
Not that actual guy, but as I like to call him, I got stuck next to some true believers about 4 years ago, and it pretty much ruined the night. It was a really bad experience. So the show itself, actually, I thought was really good. If you watched it on TV, you basically saw the second half of the show. The first half of the show, an amazing triple threat tag team match between the Revival, Ryder and Hawkins, and Ricochet and Aleister Black. Absolutely had the crowd on their feet. This is awesome, Chance. Way more action than what I kind of expect from house show matches. That was really, really good. They had a women's tag match of Lacey Evans, the next one was Cruiserweight title match. Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. Again, really, really good match. I was kind of surprised by the pop Buddy Murphy got.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising.
Buddy Murphy got a huge pop. I felt bad for Nese because Nese did not get any reaction at all. But I think Buddy Murphy getting drafted to SmackDown, so people, again, if they don't necessarily watch 205 Live, they know that this is a guy that obviously has some pump. He got a pretty good pump. They had a really good match again. One of the good things about house shows is the matches get time. So they got time to do a really good match. Then they had the Singh Brothers and Jinder Mahal versus the Lucha House Party, which I immediately texted a few friends that were in attendance. I said, yep, this match just got cut from the Hulu version of the show. Because I think a lot of people were wondering if they were even going to do an intermission.
Yeah.
So, literally, definition of piss break. People got up and went to the concession stand. They got up and went to the bathroom. I got up and went to use the restroom. Was talking to Sam, or my old buddy Sam.
Sam Roberts?
Not Sam. If he'd have been, well, and it would have been funny if he'd have been there for the next segment.
But
as I'm talking to my buddy Sam, the very familiar opening notes of a certain theme music started. Ba-bum, 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 bum. The theme music of Alexa Bliss started, and as I told the guys I was sitting next to, it's pretty funny. He said, what? I said, the opening notes of that music started, then every guy that was out on the concourse started sprinting. Because every dude in the building wanted to go see Miss Bliss. And
Good Morning, Miss Bliss?
Not that
classic 80s sitcom?
No.
Oh.
But Miss Bliss came out to do a moment of bliss and brought out the lady of WWE, Lacey Evans. Both these ladies were, as Rick would say, all the way live.
I would never say that.
And they were running down basically the babyface roster, and this brought out Dana Brooke, who got a decent pop, not great. She came to the ring, they went back and forth. They started to beat her down, and then Nikki Cross ran in to make the save. Nikki Cross got a huge pop, by the way.
Nice.
People in the Quad Cities apparently love Nikki Cross. So
because we're all crazy.
Because
we live in Iowa.
This led into a tag. Granted, decent match, nothing special. Up next was intermission, and then we came back with Elias in the ring. Well, we got the TV intro, and now you can kind of chip in on this. Then, of course, while they're doing the TV intro and they run a video package, and they set up the stool, and then it comes back with, ladies and gentlemen, Elias.
Yeah. So the Elias shit promo.
Elias ran down the Quad Cities, which was a highlight.
Yeah.
We have officially been roasted by Elias, so we are now officially, in the club.
We exist.
We exist. This brought out Finn Balor.
Yep.
I was hoping they were going to do like they did a few weeks ago at the house show.
What's that?
Where they sang Shadows. They did not sing Shadows. They just did the if you think Elias sucks, gimmick.
Yeah.
Which was good on TV. I kind of wonder. The crowd sounded way louder in person than they do on TV. Because I went back and watched this on TV.
Oh, okay.
The crowd did sound way louder in person.
Yeah.
I'm guessing since this was a house show and a TV special, I don't think they mic'd the crowd.
How was the crowd?
Really, really good for a house show. I wonder how much. You always wonder how much was papered.
Yeah.
Because we'll get into that in a minute. But
sure.
The house was pretty good, with the exception of like the back corner section of the floor. The floor was full. And I'm guessing once they knew it was going to be TV, they made a push to really fill the hard cam side.
Right.
The hard cam side of the arena.
They should have fucking called hard cam seat filler.
Yeah. The hard cam side of the arena was pretty much completely full.
Yeah.
The bowl was full because that is where the cheap tickets were. And then the side with the that the cameras were on, obviously they had some seats blocked off for production. Still not bad. So for a house show, I think being on the part being on the WWE Network definitely helped bump ticket sales there probably towards the end. But the crowd was actually pretty good. But back Finn Balor and Elias, good, solid. I mean, nothing.
Fine match.
Nothing you can write home about. Finn gets the win. Elias gets his stool back, goes to sit down again, and not only did we get the last call of the Shield, we also got the last call of the Riot Squad.
Yeah, that was a nice little send off, I thought.
So yeah, the Riot Squad comes out and tries to sing backup for Elias, and sounded horrible.
Right.
Pretty funny.
They really were bad.
Yeah, it was a pretty funny segment. I will tell you, for being in person.
Yeah, that's what I just want your in person experience.
Speaking of all the way live, Liv Morgan is all the way live, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you say she was standing by you at one point?
Well, she was standing. Basically, my seat was directly, even with ringside. So, she was basically right in front of me on the outside of the ring the entire match.
I gotcha.
And Liv is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful female. The match itself was good. It was Riot Squad versus Bayley and Ember Moon. Decent match. And at this point, I've kind of figured it out. That I'm in section 114. I'm directly up from the ring. And if you're up as high as I was, because I was right up I was up at the top. You could look down and kind of tell that the aisleway to the ring on that side was wider than the aisleway on the other side. So, already kind of knew this was coming.
I wonder if that guy would be pissed if he found out that the Shield walked right by you.
Oh no, I talked to him in NXT.
Oh, okay.
And he was at the show last night.
Oh yeah, I saw him. He was right by us, wasn't he, last night? Yeah.
He was in the second row.
Okay.
So he was happy. But no, so the Shield, I figured out that the Shield are coming, and like I said, I had on pretty much both sides of me and right in front of me, I had basically essentially the same thing. A dad and two boys.
Oh, okay.
Three groups of a dad and two boys around me.
Nice.
So the dads kind of got it, and we all kind of got together, and as the heels were coming out, we pushed all the kids to the front of the rows, so that when the music hit, and obviously if you see my social media, I posted the video where the music hits, the Shield walk out for their last match.
Yeah.
Right in that section. These kids, and the one thing that was a lot of fun for me at this house show was watching these young kids.
That's my favorite thing.
They're into everything that's happening.
Yep.
They don't care about anybody's work rate. They don't care about whether somebody's being used effectively and creative.
Right.
They just want to see pro wrestling and want to have fun.
Which is how we were when we were that age.
And and I said this to somebody, I said, my mom in 1990, or 91, either way, went at 6 a.m. and went and stood in line at a Co-op Tapes and Records to get me a front row seat to see Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair.
Yeah.
So, and that was amazing to me as a kid.
Yeah.
So, for these kids, and especially, we put them right up there for the Shield's entrance.
Oh, yeah.
And the Shield come out, and you can hear me on the video, and I'm popping, because it's, like I said, I'm pretty amazed by what my friends accomplished.
Yeah.
But for these kids, it's something completely different.
Right.
They're looking at a live action superhero.
Yeah.
And that's what made it cool, and that's what made it fun for me, was to watch the reactions of these young boys who, were me 30 years ago.
Right.
That was me watching the British Bulldogs, or Randy Macho Man Savage, or Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Or Billy Jack Haynes, who was in the first main event of the first show I ever went to. Billy Jack Haynes versus the Mighty Hercules in a chain match.
That was a main event. Oh, okay.
They basically turned the Hercules' chain into a dog collar.
Okay. I was like, fuck, that was the main event?
Yeah. It was actually pretty cool. Billy Jack juiced at the Palmer Auditorium. So the match was cool. And getting to see, obviously, the Shield, what we believe is the final appearance of the Shield.
Well, their final match.
Yeah.
As the Shield.
So we got that. Cool.
I think this week on Raw they're going to do their final moment of bliss as the Shield. And then they're going to do their final Kevin Owens show as the Shield.
I made a joke to Chris Starman and Brandon Lyons last night, two old friends that old SCW associates, that Stephen Youngblood we should make Stephen Youngblood do the Dean Ambrose gimmick where he just keeps having farewell matches and never actually leaves. I said, isn't that Dean Ambrose's gimmick now?
Yeah.
Just keeps having farewell matches but doesn't actually leave. But they won. You get and then we got the promos.
Was there any doubt?
No, there was. It's called the Shield's last name. Nope, gotta go out on your back. They're putting the heels over. No, but we got the promos, which was cool. Obviously, Dean gave the emotional send off, and then they went around the ring time. A fun night. I'm actually really glad I went, and I'm actually glad that I was able to get set by a group that had a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Because it gave me the ability to kind of just say, take yourself out of your head for a second and watch it essentially through them.
Yeah. Dude, I'll tell you the best time I ever had at a WWE, I was sitting next to a kid who was super into it.
One of the funnest I ever had was at a SmackDown taping. There were a group of kids sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
So I decided to be that guy.
Oh, God.
But it became hilarious.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it in a way. I became the guy that cheered for all the bad guys, so they would boo me.
Yeah. So you had to try to make it about yourself.
I was getting myself over. But no, I didn't do it.
Do shit like that.
I didn't do it to take away from the show, but I think it helped enhance the kids' viewing of the show because it made them get more into the show to override me, who was cheering for the Great Khali and MVP and obviously I'd have been cheering for Edge regardless.
Right.
But. Yeah, because I think we get Hawkins and Ryder versus the Undertaker on that show. We may have.
Was that the one where the main event was the Battle Royal for the final spot in the Championship Scramble?
Yeah,
that Brian Kendrick won. I was there also.
Yeah, where Triple H had to redo his promo.
Yeah, that was the day after I broke up with my girlfriend, and we had tickets to SmackDown. And I couldn't get anybody else to go with me. And even though we'd broken up, she still went with me. And it was the most awkward hour drive and 2 or 3 hour taping, an hour drive back. I could not get anybody else to go with me.
Thomas or the Real Deli Paul to go with you?
I wasn't really friends with them yet then.
Oh.
So I had 2 tickets, and I was like, somebody please go so I don't have to drive by myself. And none of my friends would go.
But no, that was Friday.
No, that was Sunday.
Yeah, that was last Sunday.
Yep.
So then we made it through the week. Yeah. I made it through the longest 4-day work week ever because I knew this weekend has been awesome. I knew it was going to be awesome. Obviously, as soon as Thursday 4:00,
we didn't know how awesome it was going to be.
Well, we didn't know how awesome it was going to be. It got way more awesome. But
can I tell the lunch story?
Oh, we'll tell the lunch story in a bit. But I was just going to say, obviously Thursday night, got off work, went straight from work to Endgame.
Oh.
I'll just say this again. I won't do spoilers, guys. I laughed, I cried, I cheered. Probably some of the biggest, we're talking Dwayne The Rock Johnson pops I've ever heard in a movie theater. there was a moment where, and obviously when you go to the Thursday night opening show, you get the hardcore fans,
right?
And there was a moment, which I mean, if you have seen the movie, you're gonna.
Did
know
they only
one.
do one theater for that one, or did they have multiple?
No, they had them starting every half hour on Thursday night.
Okay.
Thursday night in Davenport, you couldn't get a ticket. I was over, and I go to I live on the Illinois side, so I go to the Moline Theater a lot anyway. I do support that theater because it's on that side of the river, and I wanted to stay there and be successful. So obviously great night there, and then we got to Friday, and I got up, I did some DDP yoga, and I texted Brandy, our friend Brandy, and I said, "Hey, you want to go to 392?" She's like, "No." I'm like, she lives right down the street, so I said, she's like, "I just woke up from a nap." I'm like, "Get up out of bed and meet me at 392." So she goes, "Okay." Because
wow, why were you so forceful?
Because I knew she'd want to go. I just had to talk her into it.
Wow, that no means no.
But while I was, after that, as I'm driving to 392, I get a call.
This is my story.
From Alex McCarthy.
All right, so we didn't want to get groceries this week, so I was out of lunch stuff on Friday. So I was like, I'll just go out for lunch on Friday. So I am getting ready to walk out of my building and go to Subway, and I was like, I think Regal was talking about going to 392. Maybe I'll see if he's there, because that's about just a block farther than Subway for me in the opposite direction. And I call Regal, and he says, "Hey, I'm driving to the gym to drop off flyers. I'm almost to the gym, dropping off flyers, and then I'm going to 392." And I was like, "Oh, well, he'll definitely get to the gym by car before I will by foot." So I was like, I'll walk over to the gym, because I thought you were closer than you were.
Yeah, I was still in Rock Island when you called.
Jesus, I wish you would have told me that.
Yeah.
So I walk in. I walk over to the gym. I walk in. It's about, 2.5 blocks from my work, you think?
Yeah.
If that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk in. "Hey, private gym pal." JP Finger comes running from the back of the gym. And I asked him last night, and he did know it was me. He was just being JP.
Oh.
And he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I thought Regal was dropping off some flyers. We're gonna go next door for lunch. I thought he was over here." And he goes, No, Regal's not here." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I was visiting with JP for a minute, and then someone else was in the gym, and finally they're like, "Hey, what can we do for you, bud?" And JP's like, "Oh, this is the announcer for SCW," and just kind of explained who I was, because the person, if you can't put two and two together, was Seth Rollins. And so he said, "Oh, okay, cool," and went back to working out. Did not mean to interrupt his workout. After telling Merrick Brave the story on Saturday, he said, "No, if he had a problem with you being there or coming in or anything like that, he wouldn't have minced words. He would have been pretty emphatic. Get out of my gym." So I was waiting. So I decided I was kind of uncomfortable. So I just walked up, because people think I'm friends with Seth Rollins. I've met the guy maybe 3 times now, since I've been involved with SCW. I don't see him all the time or talk to him. I'm not friends with him. Not that I don't think he dislikes me. I don't dislike him, but we're just acquaintances at best. So I'm thinking oh shit, he doesn't want me in my gym, because I don't know him that well, so I didn't know how to read the situation. So okay. I go over to the gym, and then Regal, you can tell your story. So you get into the gym.
You went to the coffee shop.
I went to the coffee shop. And
we probably literally missed each other by a minute.
No, I watched you walk into the. It was about 5 minutes.
I parked and walked around the corner from where I parked. Went to the gym. Set the flyers down. Made sure to tell the contact who I was supposed to tell that the flyers were there. Talked to JP for a second, who did not mention you had already been there.
Oh, he didn't?
No, did not tell me you'd already been in the gym. And obviously, as I turn around, Seth is staying there, and I, "Hey, Regal. Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing?" And hey, quote unquote, Seth, how you doing? And he looks at me, and I was, if you see my social media, I was wearing my All Elite Wrestling logo t-shirt, to which the Universal Champion Seth Rollins looked at me.
Universal Champion of the WWE.
He looked at me and said, "God damn it, Regal, you can't wear that goddamn shirt in here from that goddamn t-shirt company." So he gave me some crap about the shirt I was wearing, and I knew you were already waiting at that point, probably. So I said, "Yeah, what's up?" I just kind of talked for a second, and then because he was in the middle of his workout, so jetted out of there. Briefly said hello to WWE referee Drake Wirtz, and head over.
Did
to
you know him before?
Yeah.
Okay.
He worked at IWA. He worked a show for me, Craig and Hunter.
Okay.
He the one really good. I've always said it's the one really good thing that Hunter Matthews ever did was he went out there in a main event and let Drake Younger beat the holy hell out of him.
Shit.
It was actually at a Beer Stube show, and back then Beer Stube had a koi pond.
Yeah.
And literally, he had Drake drown in the koi pond.
Nice.
So, no, and they actually fought up on the balcony, and they were gonna throw each other off, and then fought back down the stairs.
Nice.
Hunter went out and took a hell of a beating and put Drake over like $1 million because Drake was the CZW World Heavyweight Champion at the time, and that was in an era where CZW was one of the top independent companies in the country. So yeah, I actually did work. I've actually worked with Drake a little bit. I'm sure he had no clue who I was when I said hello, but no. So we went, had a nice lunch at 392.
Yep.
I got some amazing toast.
Yep.
With bananas and strawberries. You got a sandwich.
I got a sandwich, a panini.
Which their paninis are delicious.
Yeah, they are.
And you eat it. Most people you think, you just ate a sandwich. There's something about the way they cook their sandwiches. You eat that sandwich and you're full.
Right, well, I mean, they're pretty big, but at the same time, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna want something. I'm gonna want more than just a sandwich. Thinking like, I'll get something out of the vending machine when I get back to work. And I was like, no, I was full.
Those sandwiches are full and they're thick. I think it's the richness and the thickness that fills you up.
Yeah.
Because they load those things up with stuff.
Yeah.
I had a nice mocha. I think they call it a 392 Frost, essentially a mocha frappuccino. Took a selfie in the bathroom because you have to do that at 392.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? You didn't follow the rules. Then you went back to work. I chilled out for a little bit at the coffee shop, and then came and met Margaret, and we went back downtown.
Yep.
Picked you up to go to NXT.
We had dinner at
Stopped
Antonella's.
at Antonella's. Got some amazing Italian food.
Yes. Very good Italian food for dinner from Antonella's.
Then we went to 392.
No, then we went to NXT.
Went to NXT.
Jesus.
Went back to 392.
Regal did not know what time the show started.
You didn't. You had the tickets in your pocket and didn't even look.
Because I didn't want to take tickets out of the envelope until we were getting ready to go in.
Because you wanted to go to Analog for a half hour or so.
Yeah, and you said no. I want to go get in line.
Because I swear to God, I thought the show started at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
The show actually started at 7:30, and if somebody would have pulled the tickets out of their pocket and told me that, I would have said, "Let's go to Analog."
Yeah.
But we
Not
didn't.
the end of the world.
So we went and got in line, and of course, again, especially at NXT, there were a ton of people that we knew. So talked to several of them. Met up with Adam. NXT show in general.
Yeah, I liked it.
I will say,
I had fun.
I was very vocal on the show, the morning of the show, after seeing the Omaha results, that I wasn't sure if I was going to like the show.
Right.
Because the show was a little bit lacking on star power from NXT. Obviously, we've had a lot of call-ups. There's been a lot of roster moves. Johnny Gargano had the weekend off. Matt Riddle had gotten injured. So we ended up essentially...
You know why Gargano probably had the weekend off? I bet he's going on that international tour.
I'm guessing, and I'm guessing that, and I'm guessing that, and I know he went home to Cleveland and threw out the first pitch in an Indians game.
Well, I bet he did that because he was home.
Yeah.
Because Candice was actually advertised for the show, and now that I think about it,
show up.
She wasn't on the show either.
Yeah. So the show was a little bit lacking star power, but so once the show actually got going, it was okay. But obviously, we were one of the first people in.
Yeah. Saw a lot of friends that night.
We saw a lot of friends. Saw former SCW Heavyweight Tag Team Champion Pat Angerer.
It was so funny. I was walking out of the bathroom, and this dude just like, "Oh my God, Alex!" and hugs me. I'm like, "Who the hell is And it took me a minute to realize, like, oh shit, it's Pat Anger.
Yeah, a very large man essentially tackle hugs you.
Yeah.
And then when he came out of the bathroom, he immediately saw me and essentially tackle hugged me.
Yeah.
So I got to chat with Pat for a little bit. Saw a lot of friends in the wrestling community. Really well attended show.
So, yeah, it was a good show.
Obviously, essentially the setup for NXT was essentially like a setup for a big indie show.
Right.
So they didn't set up. How many people? What do you think the total attendance might have been?
Oh, I'm terrible at that.
I mean,
I am terrible at guesstimating attendance.
I've heard through I know they did do a lot of they did a lot of giveaways on the radio, I guess.
Oh, really?
So some of it I think was papered. But I think they drew well enough to hopefully come back. I'd love to see us, probably because they do Des Moines. They seem like they do Des Moines once a year. I would be happy with a once a year show in Davenport, Iowa for NXT.
That'd be more than enough, I think.
But the show opened up with Eric Bugenhagen.
Oh man, Timothy Regal's favorite wrestler, Eric Bugenhagen.
Okay, so here's the deal. Before the show, I was like, this is dumb. It's a stupid gimmick. Why is this happening? After seeing the gimmick live...
Oh, it's like me with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, it's essentially you with Orange Cassidy. After seeing the gimmick live, I'm into it now. I think he's actually pretty fun. So and like your wife pointed out, she said, it's an 80s metal gimmick. I figured you'd be all about it.
Yeah, Margaret calls it Southpaw Regional Wrestling come to life.
It really is. That essentially, it really looks like a gimmick that would be on Southpaw.
Yeah.
Because essentially it's an air guitar gimmick, and he plays like air guitar. It's pretty hilarious when you actually see it live. So he took on
Riddick Moss. Riddy Mo.
Who was on the first show that we went to in Des Moines.
Yep.
3 years ago.
Yep. 3 years ago. Yep. September 2016. Yep. It was ironic because it was the day I officially quit Hy-Vee, and then I went to the Hy-Vee Hall in Des Moines on the day I officially quit Hy-Vee.
Yeah. So we were talking like who's been there the longest amount. Riddick's had some injury issues and had a start and stop. Unfortunately, with Tino Sabatelli, that I thought was a great tag team.
I thought it had a lot of potential. Yeah.
But Riddick's new gimmick essentially is a redo of Simon Dean.
It's more modernized, though. It's a little different.
I love him coming out.
Has it been on TV yet?
No, it has not. But I do like him coming out with the electrodes.
Yeah.
With the electrode units attached to him.
Yeah.
Drinks the protein shake. He's got the resistance bands.
Yeah.
Which, especially with Bugenhagen, because he's the guitar gimmick.
Oh, that was great.
Where they use the resistance bands for the guitar spots.
Yeah.
So this, for what it was, really entertaining. You could tell Bugenhagen still needs a lot of time in developmental. I think.
I mean, and that's what people forget is that there's still a part of NXT that's still developmental.
And remember, Eric Bugenhagen was a collegiate wrestler. He was not an indie guy. So.
Right.
No, that match I thought was pretty good for what it was.
What was the next match? Was the next match?
I'm pulling it up because I can't.
The win? No. Was it?
Next match was the women's match.
Yeah, the women's tag match, which was
Aaliyah and Vanessa Bourne.
Yep.
Doug Ritter's favorite NXT wrestler, Vanessa Bourne.
Yes. Apparently.
Versus Rachel Evers and Io Shirai. Obviously, I would have rather seen Io versus Shayna, but just to get to see Io live for me was
okay. But the other thing is you look at, you got to put some star power in the show. You know what I mean? You got to spread out the star power.
But just to get to see Io live, I was super excited. They had an okay tag match.
Yeah. And honestly, I think for people for Bourne and Aaliyah, I think their best bet right now is probably as a tag team because that's one of the only ways they're gonna get.
And they're working the gimmick.
I call it.
They're working the gimmick. They're essentially like I said. Hey, Late Cool's here.
Why?
It's the mean girl gimmick. Whether it's Lay Cool or the Allure. Hell, we got the Allure in Ring of Honor now. Dear God.
Yeah.
But it's the mean girl tag team.
Yep.
And it's been done to death, but it works. Sometimes you do a gimmick because it works, and those two fit those characters fairly well. Is Aaliyah still like 21, isn't she?
I have no idea.
I think she's been developed because I think she got signed in developmental when she was 18 years old.
Okay.
Because she was a gymnast. So.
Okay.
Well, she was on the first season of Proving Ground.
I don't remember that. I kind of remember that.
Yeah, because she was just starting, and she was one of the people they profiled because she was literally just getting started.
Yeah.
And Rachel Evers,
super talented,
trained by Lance Storm, has worked all over the world. So in there with two vets, good match.
Yeah.
Then we got Jackson Riker from the Forgotten Sons, the former. Which one was he?
Did you say Brahm? I don't, dude. I
no,
did
he wasn't
not.
Bram.
I thought you said that. That's what you said Friday night.
Wasn't Bram? Wasn't Crimson? God, which one was he? He used to be one of the bearded guys in TNA. No, because Bram was Kenneth Cameron.
All right. Anyways, Regal. Just the point.
Taking on a guy who we saw for the first time.
Yeah.
Denzel Dejournette.
Dejournette.
He's gonna get a name change.
Yeah.
Jackson Riker was Gunner.
Okay.
Like I said, TNA had that era where they had a bunch of one-name dudes with beards.
Yeah.
Gunner.
Anyway, yeah. Anyways.
But Denzel Dejournette essentially doing a 90s hip-hop gimmick. He's got the fade. He comes out with the colorful vest on.
Yeah, I liked it.
He does the hey-ho, the hip-hop hooray. I said, great, we got an 80s metal guy and a 90s hip-hop guy. All we need is an aughts alt-rocker dressed like Jack White. We can have a musical stable. But no, he took a good beating from Riker. This was his first NXT road trip. It was actually his birthday. And I think he's fairly young. To tell you how new he is, he doesn't even have a cage match profile.
Really?
Yeah, because I've got the results pulled up on Cage Match, and there's no you can't click on his name. So
right.
I think he may have been a collegiate football player. I did find his Twitter, so I did follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw his Twitter too.
Yeah.
I think NXT retweeted him.
Yeah. Then we got. Okay. So here's the thing. During this match, I get up because I forgot to bring cash with me, and the only concession stand that can take a debit card, is the one all the way, literally on the other side of the arena from where we were.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go all the way around the ring. Right as I get to the concession stand, the ring announcer's in the ring talking, and then the music of one Universal Champion Seth Rollins hits. And Seth comes out to the pop of the night, obviously. And came out, cut a nice promo, talked about being the first champion of NXT, talked about, being the first NXT show in his hometown of Davenport, Iowa, that, plugged the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy right down the street. Cool thing for the fans, cool thing for the first show in Davenport. If you want to check it out, it's on WWE social media. And obviously, again, to me, he's, my buddy. To most wrestling fans, he's, a superhero. So, cool for that.
Still the kid who ate pizza in your basement.
I said that the other day. I said, to me, he's the kid who used to come to my house, watch weekly TNA pay-per-views, and eat Hungry Howie's pizza. So... Yeah,
no, I thought that, and the crowd loved it.
Yeah, the crowd absolutely ate it up to have it, which we thought that was as good as it was going to get, but we were wrong. So, next up, and Alex can attest, this was the one that got the pop of the night for me.
Yeah, probably match of the night.
The match of the night by far. Punishment Martinez comes out, who, of course, keep in mind, I love Punishment Martinez. Great dude. Had lunch with him at StarCast.
You were not super high on him until you met him at StarCast.
Yeah,
were
I
you?
really wasn't until I met him at StarCast, and then just getting to sit down and chat with the guy, and just how cool he is, how dedicated to the business he is. A lot of people forget he's a little bit older than most people they would bring into developmental. He was a Monster Factory trainee. He was a guy for years. He played college football, so super cool, super chill dude. When I got to go and have lunch with him. He comes out, and then the most was this guy or Velveteen? Was Adam Cole or Velveteen Dream the most over guy of the show?
Cole by an inch.
I think it was just by a slight inch. I'm going to give it to Adam Cole. Cole comes out to a huge ovation. Everybody in the crowd did the boom. Everybody did the Adam Cole, baby.
Yes.
And then these guys had an absolutely killer match. Just great work. Told a great story with Adam Cole. Kept working punishments knee over because he's a bigger guy. Cole basically did all the signature Adam Cole stuff. Just great match. Adam Cole was both guys. Adam Cole was already super over. This match was so good it got Punishment super over with that crowd. He got a standing ovation after the match because Cole left. Then Punishment got up. Punishment got a standing ovation to take us to intermission. That was kind of the match of the night. Come back from intermission. Street Profits versus Shane Thorne and Kona Reeves.
Honestly, this was probably No, I'll tell you what this was. And I said it. I turned to you and said it. This match was fucking Shane Thorne versus Montez Ford. And for the most of the part, Angelo Dawkins and Kona Reeves were on the apron.
And I'm going to tell you, from the little bit he got in this match, I've changed my mind on Eric Bugenhagen. I have not changed my mind on Kona Reeves. Kona Reeves still sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like his look. I don't like the gimmick. I don't think he's a good wrestler. But I will tell you this after watching this match live and in person. Montez Ford is a superstar.
Absolutely.
Montez Ford is super charismatic. I love the Street Profits anyway, but Montez Ford, I think, has the potential to be a main event level guy. Depending on
a lot of people credit his Evolve run to being what really gave him that missing.
Their Evolver, even Angelo Dawkins is because I watched a little bit of it. Even Angelo Dawkins' singles matches he had in Evolve, I think
Different
able to get out there, work a different crowd.
crowd, different style.
Yeah. But like you said, kind of a singles match, a glorified singles match with a couple of hot tags.
Yeah.
But the match was fine. Up next, Shayna Baszler versus Mia Yim. Shayna, probably the number 3 most over person on this show.
Probably.
Because she definitely got the most heel heat.
Oh, yeah.
Taking on Mia Yim. Again, good match.
The weirdest thing for me is the funniest thing is the crowd. It's funny because I jokingly was like, oh, wait, Mauro Ronaldo's mom's on this show?
And then the crowd started
chanting Mamma Mia.
Yes.
And I don't think they heard me.
Good, decent match. Shayna gets the victory with the rear choke. Like I said, Shayna got massive heat.
Yeah, it was great.
Then we got the main event. The Forgotten Sons, Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake, come out. Velveteen Dream comes out to a huge ovation.
Yep.
And then brings out his partner, Tyler Breeze, who got a huge pop.
Yep.
They did the whole thing legitimately in the back of the River Center where they filmed his feet walking on the screen, and so you saw that on the screen. And then,
yeah. They didn't. I was hoping for the Selfie-tron though.
No Selfie-tron. Not for the house shows apparently.
Yeah.
But Tyler and Velveteen Dream. He
didn't even have the selfie stick with him.
No. Tyler got a welcome back chant. Apparently a welcome back. I think my joke was, hey, look, Tyler Breeze got called up to NXT.
Yeah.
Good tag match. A lot of comedy spots.
Yeah.
With the baby faces kind of just playing up their gimmick.
Yep.
And getting the Forgotten Sons under the skin.
You got to read the crowd though, and I think that's what that crowd wanted.
That crowd
honestly.
really
that crowd was not getting super into like spots and indie shit.
Yeah, but when they did get into it, Tyler Breeze, if you gotta send him back to NXT, I'm totally okay with that because this guy can wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, and he's being wasted on main event. I wouldn't be surprised if he asked to go back to NXT.
Yeah, because Tyler Breeze can wrestle, and
I wonder if maybe is he transitioning into more of a player coach role?
Possibly.
Because I remember Lance Storm saying that if for whatever reason he couldn't, get in the ring and do things at his training school anymore, Breeze is the person he would want to. It was Breeze trained by Storm?
Yes.
I think he said Breeze is the person that he would want to run the day-to-day train. Or was it Breeze or was it Ty Dillinger? I think he said Ty Dillinger.
Because Breeze was trained by Lance Storm. Rachel Evers was trained by Lance Storm. So
he definitely didn't say Rachel Evers.
Yeah, but Rachel was trained by Lance Storm.
I'm not arguing with you. You whatever. You're not even listening to what I'm saying.
I'm listening to you.
Nope. God, just keep going. Read your results off your phone.
You and your bandana can chill out.
I'm not wearing a bandana.
Alex is wearing an orange bandana for some reason.
I'm not wearing a bandana.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's Tupac.
I'm not wearing a bandana.
Tyler Breeze, Velveteen Dream get the win, obviously, and then the Forgotten Sons start beating them down. They go to leave. I think the crowd kind of wanted Seth Rollins to do a run-in.
Yeah, I kind of thought it crossed my mind.
The crowd thought that was where we were going, but no, because after Jackson Riker's match, he had beaten down or Denzel DeJournette.
DeJournette.
Yeah. I keep wanting to say DiGiorno. That's pizza.
Sure. Racist ass motherfucker.
That's pizza.
That's not racist.
It's not racist. It's just when I say day.
No, it's against the French.
Yeah.
It's racist against the French. It is racist.
DiGiorno's really close to DiGiorno.
DeJournette.
Yeah. So, Denzel DeJournette, the Street Profits, block the entranceway and then run down. They start fighting. They throw the Forgotten Sons back in the ring. They basically just eviscerated Jackson Riker with like everybody hitting a finisher. They got the Velveteen got the mic. First thing he did was wish Denzel happy birthday on his first NXT road trip. Then talked about Tyler Breeze coming back to NXT, and then basically went around to everybody, said they're NXT, they're NXT, they're NXT, we are NXT, and sent the crowd home happy.
I think Patrick Clark is going to be a locker room leader someday.
Oh, absolutely. You can already the kid's got so much charisma, and he obviously wants it really bad.
I mean, you remember him on Tough Enough?
Oh yeah, I thought he was the best guy. I thought he was the best guy on Tough Enough.
And I actually I kind of saw the Mark thing. You know what I mean? Like I saw what they were having issues with him, where he thought he knew more than he did, and he was a little bit immature. Bear in mind, he was 18 years old, but he's really started to...
18 years old, and if you go back and you can go back and watch on the WWE Network, you can tell he was a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Whereas you got people on that show that weren't. Who was the guy that won?
Josh Alexander. No, not Josh Alexander.
No, Josh something. But he was on the first season of He was on the season of Proving Ground too. But the guy never got out of the Florida Loop.
No.
And then,
which sucks because I thought he had a shit ton of charisma.
And then Sarah Lee won for the females, who also basically never got out of the Florida Loop.
Didn't she marry somebody?
She married somebody
and then got
pregnant and got released.
Yeah.
But yeah, neither of those kids ever made it off the Florida Loop. But yet you also had on that show.
So in
Velveteen Dream. You had Mandy Rose. You had
Sonya Deville.
Is there anybody else?
Not that I can think of.
And then there was Shitstain, whatever his name was. The Gator wrestling kid.
Oh, ZZ.
ZZ. God damn it, I hated that kid so much.
Oh my god, my friend Jeanette, who I don't think listens to this, and probably good that she doesn't. She's from Louisiana, and she loved him. She thought he was the best. She thought he should win every week. And then when he got released, and it was announced that he was going to go train with Luke Hawx, she said, "Oh, Luke Hawx will be able to turn him into a good wrestler. He's the best trainer there is."
Yep.
And I was like, I
haven't seen anything from him.
I don't think so. I think, if he sucks, he sucks.
Yeah.
And I think they got as much out of him as they could. Because I think, for the most part, they get the most out of people that they can.
Yeah. But no. So NXT, Davenport, good first effort. Like I said, I hope they come back.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think we kind of got put in a bad spot time-wise as far as injuries, tours, and then call-ups.
But honestly, that's probably the reason why we got a show.
Yeah. But like I said, and again, I will say, I may have been, I was a little overzealous, I think, and a little bit a little bit nervous on social media leading into the show. I was thoroughly entertained.
Of course you were. You always are. You always come in with a bad attitude, and you end up going home happy.
So then we get to Saturday.
What'd you do on Saturday?
Not much. I woke up and binge watched Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah.
Then I came to your house.
And got yelled at in the car.
Yelled at in the car because you had a headache.
You and Margaret were about to have one of your screaming matches
about
the fucking Big Bang Theory.
Yes. And
I was not going to have it.
Well, before that, I stopped and got a nice salad for lunch.
Yeah.
But then we headed out to Walcott. Had to get there a little bit early.
Yep.
Because we had to get everything set up really, really fast.
Yep.
Because we had a special guest, Ace Steel, who came out and was gracious enough to do a little seminar.
Yep.
For the Black and Brave students and graduates. Like I said, we were kind of setting up. I kind of stayed off to the side and read a book, but I kind of peeked my head up a little bit once in a while.
Yeah.
Ace is one of the smartest guys you're going to find in the business. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it was great to have him, and really cool for everybody that seemed like everybody that was in it was very happy with it. Like I said, I was reading a book on Japanese wrestling, so because I wasn't a part of it, but I peek my head up every once in a while. But then obviously got everything set up. We were ready to go. Huge crowd at the door waiting to get in last night.
Oh my gosh, there were people there at...
Yeah, people were getting there at like 2:30, 3 o'clock because they knew it was going to be a big crowd. They knew they wanted to get a good seat.
Yep.
So we got the crowd in.
Remind me to tell you about something about that.
It was
off the air.
It was crazy. Myself and our boy Big Lou, a couple other kids, we had to hustle and get more chairs.
Yes.
Because
you were actually helping.
Yeah, we put up every chair we put out every single chair that the Walcott Coliseum had.
It was standing room only, I believe.
Yeah, there were people standing about 3 or 4 deep at the bar.
Yep.
So huge standing room only crowd last night.
Yep.
Just absolutely. I mean, you can go check out. I put a video up on my Twitter.
At SCW Regal 444.
Yes.
Thank you to Dusty for putting that at the beginning of the show this week.
Yeah, I put up a video, kind of walked around to show people the crowd. We got about 5 minutes to go. I think you actually hear you go, we got about 5 minutes for the show in the video.
Yeah.
But now, top to bottom, I will say this. This may have been the best top to bottom SCW Pro show in history.
Wow, you're going to go that far?
I'll actually go that far.
Wow.
I really, really thought every single person brought their A game to the show. I really liked just about everything into it. And I mean, obviously,
we opened up.
So before the show,
yeah,
Merrick Brave and Sean Morrow
Yep.
Coming to me and say, so at the end of the night, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to ask you who the greatest promoter you know is. And I was like, of course, me being me, I go, Danny Daniels? Which kind of he responds. Just in good fun. I jokingly pulling the leg of the people.
Well, right, because Merritt can't argue with Danny Daniels because that's a traitor.
No, and so here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this to start out. I literally realized what was happening to open the show about a minute before it happened.
I was in the locker room.
You were in the locker room. I was busy trying to get more chairs out and get things coordinated and at one point I was literally taking fans around trying to find open seats for them.
I mean, I was doing that too.
Yeah.
Earlier in the day. Or earlier in the...
So
what... Okay, so I just want to go through my thing. So I get the rundown for the show. And I get Merrick promo. And he said, so I'm going to come out. I'm going to cut my promo. I'm going to bring out the special guest music's going to play. Literally, on the playlist for the music, it says unknown. So the person playing the music didn't even know what music it was going to be. It said unknown on the playlist.
We kayfabed this, and because the special guest did not show up until I think he snuck in really fast right before the show started.
Yeah. Anyways, so I'm like, and I said. He said, the special guest, and I say, wait, you mean Ace? Because Ace also cut a promo before his match.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, not Ace. And when he said, no, not Ace, I said, oh, okay. and I knew. So, that crowd came unglued.
Eric comes out, he cuts his promo, he talks about, this is all WrestleMania, we're gonna create WrestleMania creates moments, well, we're gonna create epic moments, and I think we should start out the show with an epic moment. And so let's bring out a special guest, and he kind of teases it up. Let's bring out my friend, my partner, and obviously just tease it up.
I thought it was gonna be Keith Wholesale.
I actually said that. I'm like, God, what if he would have done the gimmick where he brought out Keith Wholesale? End of Heartache plays, and now. Me and you have actually had this debate in the past off the podcast that nobody would get it.
What do you mean? I don't remember having that debate.
You actually said if we played Into Heartache, nobody would get it. The crowd got it.
He also said, "Here's the champion of the universe."
That's true too.
So they weren't expecting He-Man.
And of course, End of Heartache.
Yeah.
Plays, and of course, the guest being himself. Literally waited until the moment where he would always come out when he wrestled in SCW Pro, which was about 30 seconds into the song when the breakdown starts. But Seth Rollins comes out, returns to SCW Pro, came into the ring, basically just talked to the fans about, he said, I kind of a memory lane trip. Started in Moline with putting the vest on. Went to NXT. He said, but if we're gonna go back in the time machine, we're gonna go all the way back and to where it all started. Just a great moment for the SCW Pro fans.
Yes.
Obviously, and I'll say it. I've had a few people hit up my Facebook saying, I would have came to the show if I knew he was going to be there.
I'm glad nobody said that to me because I would have ripped them a new one.
And I'm going to say it, guys.
I really would have.
If you don't come to the show, that was a surprise. A surprise moment, and it was a great moment. But you got to come to the show because you never know who's going to show up. You never know what surprises might be in store. And like he said in his promo, you never know who you're going to see. Back in 2004, nobody would have, Seth Rollins was working the opening match.
Yeah.
And now he's the Universal Champion.
Right.
So, always go support your local hometown indie fed. You never know what you're gonna see.
Well, and like I said, it's like people are like, "Oh, I would have come if
we would have announced it,
yeah,
at $10 a ticket, we'd had to turn people away,
right?
Because we were almost filled to capacity as it was. So, but no, great surprise. Great. I mean, obviously, it's a great moment, and
yeah.
Then opening match, and like I said on commentary, this was the opening match of this show to tell you how loaded this show was.
Right.
QC Cup, Dante Leone taking on the veteran Ace Steel. I mean, this could main event a lot of indie shows.
Right. I mean, it typically could have main evented an SCW show in any other situation.
Yeah, and it's the opening match here, but getting the crowd into it. I mean, Ace, such a great wrestler.
Yeah.
So, knows exactly what to do. Dante looked great in this. I mean, these guys just went out there. Great match. Young, hot fire, white meat babyface versus the veteran, dastardly, asshole heel.
Right.
Super, super easy, but tells a great story, which Ace is one of the best at. Great opener. Then, because this show's so loaded, match number 2 is the dog collar match.
Yep, dog collar match. Great one. Absolutely brutal. Connor Braxton and the Shug, Shane Hollister. My first time seeing a dog collar match live, I believe, and they used that chain, and it was funny because I brought it up on commentary because I didn't realize it. The dog collar it keeps the guys connected, and it can also be used as a weapon, but it really affects every move that you do because that dog collar is always there. If you slam somebody, that dog collar gets in the way. If you elbow somebody, that dog collar can get in the way.
This was brutal. I mean, obviously, I always says, especially a dog collar, a stipulation match like that is always going to be judged by the one that everybody remembers. Dog collars are always judged.
Greg Valentine and Roddy Piper in the first Starrcade. Yep.
Not quite that brutal. Nobody lost their hearing in one ear.
Right.
But these two guys beat the holy hell out of each other, and then, who knew? Connor Braxton, we thought was the mask guy. Shane Hollister said it was Mason Beck. Was it both of them?
Hard to say.
Because Mason Beck shows up.
Yeah.
Connor Braxton and Mason Beck beat down the Shug. So,
Yep.
Who knows?
Connor Braxton picks up the victory. Up next, we had, speaking of dastardly people, Dion Roosman and Robin Steele had a really good tag team match against Thumb and Finger.
Yeah, I swear to God, every time I see Dion Roosman, he just gets bigger.
Yeah.
Roosman was looking huge. Roosman's sporting some excellent new accoutrements. Did you see that belt?
Yes.
The belt that was given to him by the Alaskan National Guard?
Really?
Yeah. It was Alaskan National Guardsman made that belt for him.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. When he went home to Alaska recently.
Interesting.
On that huge show for Wrestle Pro.
Yep.
Defeated Chris Masters.
Wow.
No, good match. Roosman still got the win. What was next?
The ladies triple threat match.
Yes.
Special guest ring announcer, Miss Olivia. Boy, she's coming for everybody's job, isn't she?
Yeah, man.
She's ring announcing, refereeing, commentating. Where's she gonna land?
She might take your job. You never know.
She might take my job.
Thankfully,
there are a lot of people who would be okay with that.
Thankfully, you do like 4 different jobs. So
maybe next show she'll set up the sound. Or make the DVD covers.
Maybe next show she'll take my spot. I don't know.
God, I hope so.
Definitely be better to look to your right and see Miss Olivia than look at the side of my head. But,
well, you're not wrong. Anyways, we had a triple threat match. The Southwest Spitfire, Valentina Loca, Blair Onyx, and Heather Reckless. And great back and forth match from these women. Saw a little alliance from Loka and Onyx. Ultimately, saw Reckless pick up the win, though, with a very impressive frog splash.
I'll tell you what, Reckless is still, I mean, she's still fairly new.
Under 20, I believe.
Yeah, under 20 years old. This young lady's come a long way in a short amount of time, and I'm really excited to see where she's going to go. Obviously, Blair Onyx, I think, has these three
All three of these women have huge upside.
Huge upside potential. So, again, like I said, go support your local indie because you never know.
Yes.
But I think all three of those ladies have huge upside potential. I think this was a really, really good match between the three. And triple threats occasionally can be tough. And these three ladies,
I actually usually don't like triple threats.
Yes, these three ladies did a really good job.
And they did a great job. Yes, absolutely. The next match was the unsanctioned fight between the Money Matt Cage making his one-on-one return against the Dirty South Boricua, Jah-C. Regal, what'd you think about this one?
Apparently Jah-C does not like home repair.
Why is that?
He threw a ladder away.
That's true. He put the ladder back under the ring. He did not want it. He did not want the ladder to be incorporated. He just wanted the fight. He wanted to beat up Matt Cage. When we talked about it, Matt Cage is a fighter, always has been, has a lot of experience in a more hardcore match. I think Jah-C, being younger and just more reps in the ring, obviously in the last 2 years, more in the ring more regularly. He wanted it to keep it more to a wrestling match was where his advantage was going to lie, whereas Cage wanted to bring those weapons involved, and Cage was fighting with a vengeance. He was fighting for his life.
Yeah, Cage.
As Merrick Brave just looked at me in commentary and goes, "Damn, Cage is fighting for his life."
Yeah, Cage showed up to fight.
Yes.
And I mean this was pretty brutal. This was a pretty brutal fight. A lot, just really aggression between both guys. But of course, in the end, we had Thumbtacks become involved.
Yeah, Dion Roosman and Robin Steele also coming involved.
Dion Roosman and Robin Steele come out, and once again, a 3-on-1. It gets really irritating when this constantly keeps happening.
Right.
That there's essentially three guys, and then so Jah-C picks up a huge victory over Matt Cage.
Right. Future Hall of Famer Matt Cage.
Absolutely. But then that was intermission because we had to
clean up.
One of multiple times we'd have to clean up.
Right. Yes. Big cleanup night at SCW Pro. The security guards got their money's worth.
Big Lou was huffing and puffing.
Yes. We had come on now. He wasn't that. Fatal 4-way. We had Crotch, Solomon Tupu, Jackson Kelly, and the walking horror film Mean Mason Beck. This was a great Fatal 4-way. And, I think if you take this match and you could have put it... I said the same thing about the opener. You could have put this match as the main event of another card, and you would have said, "Damn, that's a great main event."
Yeah,
it was an incredible match at Epic, and I really, there wasn't a bad match on this card.
You got two former SCW champions.
Yes,
Crotch. You had a walking horror film,
right, and two of the most promising up and coming heavyweights in SCW.
Jackson Kelly, who, obviously back on excursion here for a little bit in the United States. Obviously, just from the initial... I mean, I said that this kid was good from day one, but has added size, hasn't lost any speed, just great presence. I really think over the next few years, Jackson Kelly is a name that people are going to start to know, especially...
all over the world.
All over the world, because obviously that Australian indie scene is getting bigger and bigger, so... I've actually said Australia, I think, in a few years is going to be the next UK. Where the UK scene got really big.
It's already.
I think Australia, because they've got, obviously, guys like Robbie Eagles and Jackson Kelly, Aussie Open. There's A-Kid. There's a lot of guys coming out of Australia right now that are really good. So Jackson Kelly is a kid who I think is going to be in that conversation soon. And then you got Solomon Tupu, who is a guy who has, in a very short amount of time, looked very impressive. Impressive size, impressive presence. big Polynesian kid, throws some brutal headbutts in the ring.
Absolutely, head like a bowling ball.
Yeah, and has again shown a lot of potential. So this was a really, really good match. Really good showcase, I think, for the young guys. But in the end, Mason Beck gets the victory. I mean, the guy is just a machine, and dude, the mountain was not climbed on this night.
No. After that, SCW Pro Tag Team Championship match, as we saw Vicious and Delicious try to capture their fourth Tag Team Championship, and obviously these guys had, against the Thunderhawks, Latin Thunder and one called Manders. Obviously, these guys had a great match, as is no surprise to anyone. They had an incredible match, a barn burner. The thing that we saw the Thunderhawks retain, the one thing that was a little bit surprising to me was the end of the match. The Thunderhawks get attacked by Roosman and Steele.
Yeah.
And the thing that surprised me was the microwave went off. Sorry, no, I'm kidding. The thing that surprised me was the fact that Vicious and Delicious made the save for the Thunderhawks, handed them the tag team championships, and showed respect for really the first time ever.
You gotta wonder what's obviously
something clicked, something changed.
Might be that they just don't like Robin Steele and Dion Roosman that much.
Could be that. It could be a change in mentality. Maybe we're seeing a whole new side of Vicious and Delicious.
Vicious and Delicious have been fighting Manders.
Yeah.
In two different forms for several months.
A year ago at Hawkamania 4, Cinco de Mayhem, the main event was Steve Manders versus Vicious and Delicious in a handicap match for the QC Cup.
Yeah. So.
And they've still fought. They fought with Steve having Latin Thunder at his side. They fought with Manders having Pat Anger by his side. Every possible war imaginable has been fought, and maybe some respect was earned.
Absolutely. I think some respect was earned there, and it seems like Robin Steele and Dion Roosman aren't making any friends.
No.
Except for Joyza.
We're right.
So
after that, I'm gonna let you take this one because I know this is emotional for you. The final match of the King.
The final match of the King. Dude, how do I even talk about it? If it wasn't for Stephen Youngblood and Nevin Knoxville, I wouldn't be where I am today. They were the ones who brought me to SCW. They were the ones who made me a commentator. Back to the Barn days, essentially made me a part of a stable that included them and the person we knew as Nightmare, Gage Blagojevich, later on. So, obviously, Nevin has retired, and Steven has obviously now retired. I talked to Steven before the show, and Steven was telling me that he had to walk away from packing his gear bag 4 times. That it, big emotion as he just drove to the building.
How many times has he made that drive to Walcott?
Well,
how many times has he packed that gear bag?
How many times do you pack that gear, no matter what building it is? How many packs of that gear bag? How many, how many drives?
It's going to be weird in Walcott not seeing Aaron and Griffin and Phoenix and Molly.
As if you've listened to the shows where we've had Steven on, or we've had Shug on, or anybody, when Merrick or Crotch or anybody has been on, and we talk about those days, that, essentially, if you know the history, there was a point where the S in SCW literally stood for Steve.
Yep. That's right.
And like I said, and I just always say this, if it wasn't for Stephen Youngblood, I wouldn't be an SCW Pro, and if it wasn't for SCW Pro, I don't know where I'd be. So, this was an emotional moment, and obviously, and we've kind of floated on a kayfabe on this one, but I'm gonna not even try to kayfabe this at all. Obviously, going against Johnny, who, friends for years, going out and doing.
Your hands are in front of your mouth.
Going out and
you're already talking low, and you're putting.
I do that when I'm thinking.
I know, but your hands are in front of your mouth, and you're already talking low.
Going out and doing Steven's style of match.
Yep.
A hardcore match.
Which Steven loves.
Yeah, which is what Steven's always loved to do. And a lot of the gimmick played up with emotion and everything. I think built to a perfect crescendo. Last night it was crazy because. And to tell how universally loved Steven is.
So many blasts from
his
the past
entire
and attendance.
His family.
Yeah.
Friends. People that have been involved in SCW throughout its entire history. The original SCW heavyweight champion, James Sales, a.k.a. Static, was in attendance. Former SCW referee Chris Starman, who, really doesn't do much with wrestling anymore, came to the show. Obviously, Brandon Lyons, a.k.a. Boris. Obviously, Snake Eyes, Pickle, a.k.a. Pickle, Mike Andrews, Nevin Knoxville. Bobby Dahl. Almost everybody that was in that era, I think, came to this show, and if they lived anywhere near the Quad Cities. So it was just great getting to talk to Jeffrey, our old buddy Jeffrey Dark came to the show, who I talked to for a while. But just to get to call this last match, and I normally never stand up while I'm commentating a match.
Yeah.
I stood this entire match.
I do sometimes.
You were standing up. I stood up pretty much this entire match to call the match. Just told a great story. Thankfully, I will say, because I actually ran into a fan when I went to see Avengers this morning.
Yeah.
And the first question, because Johnny did get banged up a little bit, first question out of the fan's mouth was, is Johnny Wisdom okay? I will report that, yes, Johnny Wisdom is fine. But obviously, the scene at the end, literally... We brought paper exploders.
Scared the shit out of me.
You were not ready for that.
Nevin Knoxville set one off behind me.
Nevin Knoxville and his sons, a couple of friends of Steven, they literally had the confetti poppers.
I saw them too. I knew they were there.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a gunshot. I was like, what the hell?
So yeah, there was confetti. It was everything. Like I said, we saw a lot of the old school guys. Nevin, pretty much Mark Storm, the entire locker room pretty much emptied out to give Steven his farewell. Of course, Steven brought his family into the ring. Steven has an amazing family. I've obviously known Erin since they met, she is a wonderful young lady. They are raising 3 amazingly awesome children.
I loved Molly wearing the tiara too.
Yeah, Molly was wearing it. The princess was wearing a tiara.
The princess of Scott County.
Phoenix and Griffin, his 2 sons, both absolutely love professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So I've oftentimes said it's only a matter of time. But to see him go out on his own terms and with his family and friends, a guy who literally
is the heart and soul. Father too, though.
But and we've talked about it on the show when Nevin retired.
Yeah.
That essentially, at some point, you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
And you want to go out on your own terms, and I think it's going to be extremely strange to not see Steve at every show. I think, trust me, I know Steven. He'll be around. He may not be wrestling, but he'll be around. He's not gonna completely leave.
Just as Nevin has been around and Mark comes around
as the literal SCW original.
The original, yes.
Yeah. Thank you to Steven for the great memories. Thank you to him personally from me for allowing me to essentially being one of the people who gave the initial okay that allows me to essentially live my dream. And as I said on Twitter, I'll say it here. It's been a pleasure calling his wrestling matches. It is my privilege and my honor to call him my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. I mean, he's the person that, like, he's just a great friend.
Yeah, he's a great human being, and we love him.
Yeah, if you can't tell, we love him.
I don't think you're gonna find anybody that doesn't love Steven. And if you do, I would seriously be sending them to a psychiatrist to get examined because there's something wrong with them. But I mean, and honestly, how do you top that? But we had one more match.
Right. We did it.
Which was great.
Yes.
And again, this match didn't have a stipulation, but it was just as brutal at points.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Xander Killen and Travis Titan went out there and showed why they're two guys that need to be these big national independent promotions need to be taking a look at these two.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've said it, Travis Titan is one of the most technically sound professional wrestlers in the world, and Xander Killen is no slouch either. And both these guys, you want to get in there and get technical, you want to get on the mat, they can do it. Mm-hmm. You want to brawl, they can do it. You want to fly, they can do it. And they did it in spades in this match.
They did it all.
Again, but before, well, I won't say that for them. But it's these guys absolutely killed it. Great story told as Titan finally gets the win. You barely had any voice left. I'm surprised you can talk. I'm surprised you can talk as well as you can today.
Me too.
Your voice was getting Michael Cole at the end of WrestleMania level rough.
Yeah, well, I yelled too much at NXT, and I talked a lot at school the day before. It just happened on Friday that I had to, like, read all 3 grades. I had to read them, like, 2 chapters out of a book to prepare them for a guest artist
Jesus.
on that they're going to have on Tuesday. And so I had to read, like, 2 or 3 chapters, like, several pages of a book, just straight up read to them 3 times.
Yeah, and we tried not to yell at NXT, but we still did.
Oh, I can't go to a show and not yell. I love to. If you haven't figured it out, I like to talk.
and I've always said, especially if you're at WWE, I don't give a damn if you're an indie guy or not. If you're paying for a ticket, have some goddamn fun.
I think everybody that we saw was having fun.
Yeah, and there were a lot of the SCW guys in the crowd, and even
they were having just as much fun, if not more than we were. Everybody had a good time.
I mean, if you're not gonna get
if you're not going to have a good time, don't go.
And exactly, if you're not, and especially like we use NXT as an example. If there's somebody there that doesn't get excited to get to do the Adam Cole,
right?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. But those are the people that stayed home.
And I mean, and believe me, I say this because I've seen people in the business that will pay for a front row ticket, and then sit on their hands. I'm not going to mention their name on the podcast. I'll tell you off air if you want to know. I think I've told you before.
I think I know.
But yeah, so I mean, dude, it's been a hell of a weekend. I've seen Avengers twice. I've been to 2 different wrestling shows. The Game of Thrones, the most insane, crazy Game of Thrones episode is an hour and 20 minutes away.
If I watched tonight, would I know what was going on?
No. The White Walkers are at the door. That's the. I mean, if you have a general knowledge of Game of Thrones just from listening to me talk, I think at this point. But
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. There's so many characters on that show, you'd be like, wait, why is this guy doing this, and why is this guy doing that?
Yeah.
I tell people, literally, on Game of Thrones, that if my buddy Craig used to say that up until, like, season 4, said Game of Thrones wasn't for him. I got him to watch one episode with me, and it was a major episode in the series.
Yeah.
And he literally just watched it, and then I get a text from him 2 days later. Yeah, I've binge watched 3 seasons of Game of Thrones in 2 days.
3 seasons?
Yeah, he binge watched 3 seasons in 2 days.
Does he have a job?
He was off. So yeah. No, Game of Thrones is gonna be insane. It's been the craziest week in nerd culture. It's been a crazy week in wrestling. We had
It has literally been the wrestling week in the Quad Cities.
Yeah, we had
if you live in or around the Quad Cities and you like wrestling and you didn't watch any wrestling this weekend, shame on you.
Yeah, we had 3 shows in 6 days.
Holy shit!
This is the craziest wrestling week in Quad Cities history, I think. And we're not done. I mean, we got
Wildwood.
We got 6 days. We're gonna be in Wildwood.
We're gonna be at Wildwood Saturday night.
I'm gonna be at Wildwood eating barbecue in 6 days. So.
I'm gonna be eating barbecue, and I probably can't drink Saturday night because I gotta drive to Iowa, or I have to drive to Fort Dodge immediately after Hulkamania.
Yeah. But no, it's been a crazy weekend. I'm gonna go watch Game of Thrones. I will probably see Endgame one more time this week.
Probably.
Alex thought it was weird. I bought I went and bought some clothes today, and I bought an Avengers Endgame T-shirt.
And then you proceeded to take your clothes off in my living room and change your shirt.
I took my shirt off and
that image will not be on our social media.
I had to look at you take your shirt off today too. So
you did?
You took your hoodie off and your shirt came up, and then
yeah, I got 6-pack abs.
Yeah, sure. I swear to God, I think I want to. Somebody needs to check you guys to see if your Moondog is actually more hairy.
You're just jealous because you can't grow any hair anywhere.
Oh, I got hair in places.
Oh God! All right, yep. Dusty already did the plugs. We're at an hour 41. I'm hitting stop. Fuck me.
See you in Iowa City, folks.